Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling a super stressful, frankly panic-inducing situation that a lot of vehicle owners face. But don't worry, we're going to show you exactly how to fix it with as little friction as possible.
So, picture this. You finally found the absolute perfect buyer for your old car. You've agreed on a great price, they literally have cash in hand, and you go to your filing cabinet to grab the title so you can sign it over. And it's just gone. That sheer panic of realizing your car title is missing right when you need to make a transaction, yeah, it's a uniquely terrible feeling. It basically brings everything to a screeching halt.
And hey, if you're dealing with this, you're definitely not alone. Take a look at this post from a Reddit user named Getting Frosty. They wrote, "I have a buddy trying to purchase my old car, a 2002 Mazda, which I do not have a title for. I just read you could not sell a car in NC without the title." This little anecdote honestly hits the nail on the head. It captures the harsh reality of the situation. In North Carolina, a title is legally required to sell a vehicle to another person. Without it, you are entirely stuck. But seriously, take a deep breath, because there's a clear way out of this mess. In this explainer, we're covering 1. What is a title? 2. A step-by-step replacement guide. 3. Standard versus instant processing. 4. Common mistakes to avoid. And 5. FAQs and final takeaways. Let's get into it. Section 1. What is a title and what are the NC legal requirements? Let's establish a really quick foundation on what this piece of paper actually legally represents. Now, behind the scenes, the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles uses a really efficient digital system to keep track of who owns what. But, and this is a big but, a physical paper title remains an absolute operational necessity. You literally must have that physical piece of paper to sell to a private party, trade it in with a dealer, or formally record a loan lien. North Carolina just doesn't issue electronic titles directly to consumers for these types of everyday transactions. So here's a crucial thing to keep in mind. The exact second you ask the state for a duplicate title, your original title is legally declared null and void. This is a strict, hard-coded mechanism designed to prevent double titling fraud and unauthorized transfers. Basically, there is no going back. If you happen to find your old title shoved in a junk drawer 2 weeks after requesting a duplicate, you can't use it. In fact, you're statutorily required to return that recovered old title immediately to the NCDMV so they can cancel it. Moving right along to Section 2, our step-by-step replacement guide. Let's look at the exact steps you need to take to actually get this replacement document in your hands. Here is your high-level roadmap, and it really just boils down to 4 core steps. 1, you need the official state document, which is Form MBR4. 2, you got to gather your strict identification and your vehicle's current odometer reading. 3, you have to get this paperwork officially notarized. And 4, pay the state fee and submit your packet. Let's break these down just a bit. Okay, steps 2 and 3 are where people usually get tripped up. The NCDMV enforces rigorous identity verification to make sure nobody else is stealing your car's ownership. So you must provide a valid North Carolina driver's license or state ID. Now, if you just moved and only have an out-of-state license, you need that plus a North Carolina temporary driving certificate. Also, if the car is owned by more than one person, all registered owners must sign Form MVR4, and every single signature has to be notarized. Oh, and if you're mailing this in, make sure you include a clear black and white photocopy of your ID. All right, and here's the magic number for step 4, $25.50. You might see some outdated sources floating around the internet claiming it costs $15 or maybe $21.50. Just ignore them. The verified, standard, statutory fee for a duplicate title in North Carolina right now is exactly $25.50. Which brings us to Section 3, Standard versus Instant Processing Pathways. Because once your Form MVR4 is perfectly filled out and notarized, you have a pretty big choice to make about how fast you want the state to print your new document. You've got 2 distinct pathways here. Standard processing costs that baseline $25.50. You can submit it by mail or in person, but it generally takes 4 to 6 weeks for the title to actually show up in your mailbox. On the flip side, if you're in a rush, you can choose the instant title service for an extra fee. That brings your total cost up to $105.75, and you absolutely must submit it in person at select license plate agencies. But wait, here is a massive caveat that you really need to understand before paying that extra fee. Instant does not mean you walk out of the office with the title that exact same day. By law, all duplicate title requests face a mandatory 15-day security waiting period. This is basically an administrative defense, giving the state and lenders time to sniff out any potential fraud. So if you pay for the instant title service, it just means your title gets placed in an automated print queue, and it will instantly print at your local office on the 16th day instead of you waiting weeks for it to arrive in the mail from Raleigh. Now, let's say you use that instant service, but you need a third party, like a friend or a family member, to pick it up for you when it finally prints on that 16th day. They can't just stroll in and ask for it. They have to bring Form MVR 69, which is the affidavit to release instant title. And yes, you guessed it, your signature authorizing them on this form must also be notarized. Okay, Section 4, Common Mistakes to Avoid. Because let's be real, the DMV is a massive bureaucracy, and even a tiny error can trap a beginner and delay your new title for weeks. We're going to make sure you don't get delayed. First up, if you ever had a loan on this car, even if you paid it off 10 years ago, you have to ensure the lien is formally cleared from the state database. If it's not, you've got to attach a notarized lien release from the lender to your application. Second, if you're applying by mail, double-check that you're sending it to the exact title section address, 3148 Mail Service Center in Raleigh. Third, do not forget to fill in the current odometer reading on the form if your vehicle is under 10 years old. And finally, like we mentioned earlier, don't sit around expecting an email with a PDF of your title. North Carolina issues physical, paper titles, period. All right, rounding the corner to Section 5, FAQs and final takeaways. Let's rapid fire through a couple of the most pressing questions people have when navigating this whole process. A super common question we see is, hey, can I just write up a quick bill of sale and sell my car without the title to save some time? The answer is a hard no. You cannot legally sell a vehicle to an individual in North Carolina without a valid title. The one and only exception here is if you're selling the vehicle strictly for parts and the vehicle is 10 years or older. In that highly specific scenario, a bill of sale might do the trick. But for any drivable car you're selling to another person, you absolutely must have the physical title. Here's another one. What if I bought the car, lost the title before I made it to the DMV, and the title isn't actually in my name yet? In this case, you can't just apply for a duplicate title yourself. You have to complete a formal title transfer first. The previous owner, the person whose name is still on the state's record, must be the one to apply for the duplicate, receive it, and then formally sign the ownership over to you. So what should we take away from all this? Honestly, the best defense is just being proactive with your records. Verify your vehicle's titling status today. If you recently paid off your car, make sure your lender actually formally cleared the lien from the state's records. And most importantly, when you do get your physical title, whether it's the original or a shiny new duplicate, keep it somewhere safe and secure, like a fireproof lockbox. Seriously, please don't keep it in the glove box of the car itself. To wrap things up, keep in mind this essential disclaimer. State laws, processing procedures, and fee schedules are always subject to change over time. While we've given you the most accurate roadmap based on current source materials, you should always verify the final details directly with the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles or consult professional legal advice for complex situations. Now, having seen the stringent 15-day waiting period North Carolina uses to prevent fraud, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how vulnerable are the titling systems in states that process everything entirely on the spot? Keep your documents safe, and thanks for joining us on this explainer.